They say aging means slowing down, that you lose your vitality, your desires, and the warmth of connection. They say intimacy fades into memory after 60. But as someone who spent over 3 decades walking alongside older adults, I can tell you with certainty they're wrong. My name is Dr. Michael Carter. I'm a physician trained at Harvard and Stanford with a specialty in urology and geriatric medicine. I've worked in clinics across the US, Germany, Japan, and France, and in all those years I've seen one thing over and over again. Men and women in their 60s, 70s, even 80s quietly wondering, is there still life left in me? Can I feel close again, connected, desired? The answer is yes, and not through pills or invasive treatments, but through nature's own medicine, through food, through fruit to be specific. You see, modern medicine often rushes towards synthetic fixes, prescriptions, hormones, surgical solutions. But somewhere along the way, we stop listening to the body, and we overlook something powerful hiding in plain sight. I remember an elderly couple I saw in Tokyo. He leaned in and whispered, "I don't want my wife to think I've stopped caring." She smiled gently. "We just want to hold hands again and feel warm." Simple things. But in aging, the simple things become the most profound. That conversation sparked a question in me I couldn't let go of. What if the body could heal itself gently, naturally, if we gave it the right support? And the answer came not from a laboratory, but from 4 humble fruits. Fruits that support blood flow, hormone balance, and emotional closeness, even in the later decades of life. I understand if you're skeptical. I was too. But give me a few minutes to share what I've discovered, stories from real patients, backed by real science, that might just help you rediscover the part of yourself you thought was lost. Before we dive into these 4 extraordinary fruits, I want to leave you with this truth. Aging is not a decline, it's an invitation. An invitation to live more deeply, love more fully, and reconnect with your body in a way that's nourishing, not demanding. And surprisingly, this invitation starts with something as simple as fruit, what I call the quiet warriors of aging. Do you remember how your body used to feel when love was present? The warmth, the tingling in your fingertips, the energy that came from just being close. You deserve to feel that again, regardless of age. So let's begin with a fruit that may already be in your fridge, but holds the power to revive circulation, awaken desire, and bring your body back to life. Let's talk about red grapes, the silent blood flow champion. Many people believe only medication can improve sexual health as we age. But after more than 30 years working with thousands of older adults, I've learned something different. Often the most lasting results come from simple natural changes. Red grapes are a perfect example. I once treated a 68-year-old man, a retired engineer. He came into my office quietly. He didn't list any major symptoms, just one honest sentence. "I don't feel like myself anymore." He wasn't sad, he wasn't in pain, but something inside him was slowly fading. We didn't start with prescriptions, we started with red grapes. 1 small bowl a day, that was it. Red grapes contain a powerful compound called resveratrol. It helps blood vessels relax and expand, improving circulation throughout the body to the heart, the brain, the limbs, and to the areas most often forgotten as we age, the intimate ones. Good circulation does more than just deliver oxygen. It restores sensation. It brings life back into the body. In men, red grapes help naturally increase nitric oxide levels, which is essential for triggering and maintaining healthy erections. Unlike synthetic medications, grapes support this process gently from within. No pressure, no side effects, just steady natural results. I've seen men in their 60s and 70s regain confidence, endurance, and emotional connection just by adding grapes to their daily routine. No bold claims, no overnight miracles, just consistency. For women, the change is just as meaningful. Many have told me, "I still want to be close. I still care, but I just don't feel the same." That's not emotional distance. That's blood flow. When circulation returns to the pelvic region, sensitivity improves. Intimacy becomes more comfortable, warmer, and more natural again. I remember a couple from Germany who came back to see me 3 months after starting red grapes every morning. They didn't say much, just smiled at each other. "We found something we thought we lost 15 years ago," the husband told me. Red grapes are not magic, but they're a wise beginning. They don't force the body, they support it. They don't promise instant excitement. They nurture what's already within you. If you're wondering where to start this journey back to connection and vitality, I always say, begin where your blood needs to flow again. And for many, that starts with a simple bowl of red grapes in the morning. There's a fruit I used to overlook for years. To me, it was just a garnish, something tart and red that showed up during Thanksgiving and quickly disappeared from memory. But time and my patience taught me something very different. That fruit is the cranberry. And for people over 60, it turns out to be a quiet but powerful ally in protecting both comfort and closeness. I started paying attention when patient after patient, those who still felt vibrant and connected to their partners, kept mentioning it. One sipped unsweetened cranberry juice every morning. Another added a handful of dried cranberries to lunch. They weren't trying to fix anything, just following a small daily habit. But the results spoke for themselves: fewer urinary issues, less discomfort, and a greater sense of ease during intimacy. Cranberries are well known for supporting urinary tract health, but the real benefit goes far deeper. When the kidneys and bladder function smoothly, the body retains better hydration, flushes out toxins more effectively, and lowers the kind of low-grade inflammation that quietly wears down desire and drains energy. I often explain it this way: poor kidney function doesn't just mean more frequent bathroom trips. It affects blood pressure, hormone balance, and circulation, all of which play a direct role in how connected and confident we feel in our bodies. For men, cranberries support circulation to the pelvic region, which helps improve erection quality naturally. Healthy kidneys mean more stable blood pressure and better nitric oxide levels. Two essential pieces of the puzzle for maintaining sexual performance. For women, cranberries reduce inflammation, relieve dryness, and help restore sensitivity. Not through sudden stimulation, but through a gradual return to balance, gentle, reliable, and deeply supportive. I remember one woman nearly 70 who confided in me in a soft, almost apologetic tone. I thought I didn't want to be close anymore. But really, I just didn't feel comfortable in my own body. That moment stayed with me longer than most lectures I've heard. Because in later life, sometimes the biggest barrier to intimacy isn't a lack of desire, it's the quiet discomfort we've learned to live with. Cranberries won't change you overnight, but they can quietly remove the friction you've gotten used to. They help the body become ready again for closeness, for comfort, for connection. Just a small glass of unsweetened juice in the morning, a few dried berries with a meal. These are little things, but they can open a very big door, the door back to ease, to safety, and to the joy of being together without strain. I often tell my patients, if you want to feel close again after 60, begin by letting your body feel at ease again. And sometimes that begins with something as simple as a handful of cranberries. There's a fruit that always feels warm to me just thinking about it. Maybe it's the golden orange color like morning sunlight, or maybe it's the way it melts on the tongue, soft and calming. But behind its sweet flavor lies something few people realize. Papaya has the quiet ability to awaken energy balance hormones and restore intimacy gently and naturally. I met him one spring morning in California, 72 years old, a retired school principal. He said, "I don't feel like I have any spark left. I don't sleep well, and I feel drained. My wife is patient and kind, but I feel guilty. I've let these later years slip into something dull." He ate well, exercised daily, but something was still missing. His body just wasn't responding the way it used to. We tried something simple. Each morning he ate a bowl of ripe papaya with a bit of Greek yogurt. 3 weeks later, he returned to my office. No grand claims, no big speeches, just a brighter face and a smile that felt real again. Papaya is a rare combination of what aging bodies need. It's rich in vitamins A, C, and E nutrients that support cell repair, reduce inflammation, and improve circulation and skin health. Even more importantly, it contains the enzyme papain, which aids digestion, reduces bloating, and helps the body absorb nutrients more effectively. But what makes papaya truly special is its impact on hormones, especially testosterone in men and estrogen in women. In men, papaya helps regulate hormone function and naturally supports testosterone production. The result is more strength, better stamina, and a stronger physical response. It also supports blood vessel flexibility, which is essential for maintaining healthy erections and feeling energized again. In women, papaya helps balance estrogen and improves blood flow to the pelvic region. That means less dryness, more sensation, and a deeper sense of physical and emotional closeness. Papaya also supports the adrenal glands, which manage stress hormones. And when stress goes down, sleep improves, the mind relaxes, and intimacy becomes easier without pressure or fatigue standing in the way. Papaya doesn't give a sudden jolt of energy. It doesn't push or force, it supports. It reminds the body of what it's still capable of in a calm and consistent way. It won't transform everything overnight, but it whispers to the body you still can. I asked the principal after a few weeks, "What feels most different?" He paused then said, "It's not about sex. It's the feeling of coming back to life, of knowing I still matter, that I'm still able to love and want to be loved." That's why I always speak about papaya with a certain respect, because sometimes we don't need fireworks. We just need a quiet light to come back on inside us. If you're looking for energy again, not just in your body but in your spirit, try starting with a bowl of papaya in the morning. Sometimes a gentle fruit can awaken something powerful. I've always believed that some fruits don't just nourish the body, they soothe the heart. Cherries are one of those. I often tell my patients there are foods that make you feel strong, but then there are those that make you feel loved. Cherries do both, gently, quietly, deeply. I remember a couple in their early 60s who came to see me after more than 40 years of marriage. They weren't in pain. They weren't angry. They just felt distant. The husband told me, "I don't feel like myself anymore. I'm sluggish, irritable, and worst of all, I feel far from my wife." She nodded softly. No blame, just sadness. We didn't begin with medication. We began with cherries. Just a simple habit, a few fresh cherries after dinner. Sometimes a small glass of tart cherry juice in the evening. Nothing complicated, but the results were anything but small. Cherries contain a powerful group of antioxidants called anthocyanins. These compounds help reduce inflammation in blood vessels, improve circulation, and enhance blood flow to sensitive areas of the body. As blood flow improves, so does sensation awareness and connection. For men, this means firmer, more reliable erections. For women, it means better blood flow to the pelvic area, less dryness, and more physical comfort during intimacy. What makes cherries truly special, though, is that they support not only the body but the mind. They're naturally rich in melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Better sleep helps balance hormones, and when hormones are stable, emotions tend to soften. I've seen couples reconnect not because of any dramatic treatment, but simply because they finally slept well together. Good sleep opens the heart, and in that state, even a quiet touch can feel like connection. That's why I speak of cherries with quiet respect. They don't shout, they don't push, they invite you back to yourself. Some of my patients tell me cherries don't make them feel more powerful, they make them feel more present with their partner, with themselves. So if you're seeking peace, if you've grown distant from the one you love and can't quite explain why, if all you want is to sleep more deeply and feel more at ease, cherries may be the gift you've been missing. You don't need a lot, just a little each day. Enough to let the change begin, not with noise but with a breath. Enough to remind you you are still here, you still love, and you are still loved. I know the feeling you might have right now. After reading or watching something inspiring, you feel hopeful, motivated, ready to make a change. But then the question creeps in. Where do I begin? Do I need to eat all 4 fruits every day? Is there a specific formula? My answer is always simple. You don't need to do everything at once. Just begin with one small thing. Do it regularly. Do it sincerely. One mistake I often see, especially in older adults, is trying to change everything too quickly. They jump into complicated routines, set big expectations, and then burn out before any real progress happens. That's not what I want for you. You don't need a revolution. You need a new rhythm, gentle, steady, and kind. So pick one fruit that feels easiest to you. Not the one that sounds best on paper, but the one you genuinely enjoy. The one you'll actually want to eat every day without forcing yourself. Maybe it's cool red grapes in the afternoon, a handful of dried cranberries sprinkled on your salad, a bowl of sweet ripe papaya in the morning, or a few cherries before bed. Pick one and begin. I once did a small trial with a few of my patients. Just one fruit every day for 4 weeks. Same time, same simple habit. The results weren't loud, but they were real. Warmer hands and feet, deeper, more restful sleep, greater ease during intimacy, a quiet calm in their emotions. They didn't change because they were pushed. They changed because their bodies were nourished gently and consistently. So please don't pressure yourself to notice instant results. Give your body time. Let it adjust. Often what feels miraculous is simply your body remembering how good it's meant to feel. If after a few weeks you want to try adding a second fruit, then a third, go for it. Let your body guide you, not pressure, not fear. I once told a patient, Your body doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs to know you care. And sometimes caring looks like adding a cherry to your evening or remembering to pick up papaya at the market. Those small gestures, done with intention, become the habits of a well-lived life. If you've made it this far, I believe something in you is awakening. Maybe it's the desire to feel strong again, maybe to feel close again, or maybe just the quiet hope that yes, there's still more life ahead. I'm here to tell you there is, and you don't need a grand start. You just need to start today. There's something I've learned after more than 30 years as a doctor. People don't just want to live longer. We want to live meaningfully. We want to wake up in the morning and feel connected to life, to the people beside us, and to ourselves. Aging doesn't take that away. It simply asks you one question. Will you choose to care for yourself? Will you choose to love yourself again, even with gray hair and a slower step? Many people believe that after a certain age, they no longer have the right to feel desire, to crave closeness, or to long for intimacy. But that isn't true. I've seen people in their 70s and 80s still holding hands like they did on their first dates, not out of habit, but because they still feel alive, still feel loved, still feel seen. The 4 fruits I've shared with you, red grapes, cranberries, papaya, and cherries, aren't miracles. They aren't medicine. They don't replace your doctor, but they are a beginning. They are a way to tell your body, I'm still here. I still care. They won't make you younger, but they help you live more truthfully, to move with the rhythm your body longs for, slower but more deeply. I want you to look back at your life. Think of everything your body has carried you through: decades of work, sleepless nights, raising a family, heartbreak, laughter, resilience. Your body made it through all of it. It deserves your care, not because it's perfect, but because it's still alive. If tomorrow morning you eat a small bowl of grapes, or tonight you sip some cherry juice, know that it's more than just food. It's a decision. It's your way of saying, I choose to show up. I choose not to give up. Healing is never too late. Intimacy isn't just for the young. And connection, a hug, a look, a moment of closeness, is always within reach if you're open to it. In the end, I don't expect you to remember every fact I've shared. I only hope you remember this: you still matter. And you deserve to live fully, not just to survive, but to truly feel each day. If something in these words spoke to you, let it stay with you. Try one small thing, one fruit, one habit, one choice. Because sometimes one small change is all it takes to warm your life again.